Hi, my name is Jennifer Diebold, and I'm a truth seeker. I've always been a truth seeker, but in third grade in this life, I decided to be a truth seeker again in this life, and or at least as far back as I know. And I made that solid decision then. And a lot of us are truth seekers. A lot of us who are in tune with ourselves as spiritual beings are truth seekers. And what I wanted to talk today about is mental health, mental illness. And what I want to say, and keep an open mind. If this resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, great. But hear me out, please. I believe in mental health. We need to take care of our mind. But I do not believe in mental illness. I've always been a very gifted individual. A lot of us are. A lot of us are very gifted, whether we realize it or not. And I was born awakened. And when I was living in my own place over 20 years ago, I committed suicide. And I went binge shopping on nuts. And then I went binge eating. And then I laid down, and I have anaphylactic shocks from them. I laid down, and as I was passing out, I laid down real quick. The next morning, I woke up as if nothing happened. But while I was in the store, that's when there were pagers still. It kept going off, 911, 911, and spirit souls were trying to warn me, don't do this, you're making a mistake. And nobody knew what to do with me because they didn't believe that that was actually happening. So I was taken to a hospital, and I was diagnosed with mental illnesses. I believe that it's all deep down. It's all deep-rooted. It's all choices, whether we realize it or not, in this life or before. And what we need to do is get to the root of these issues, of these choices that we make, instead of popping pills that could give us something else. Then again, it's the placebo effect, and it puts us in a bit of a slumber so that we are not as awakened to make some of those choices that are definitely not healthy choices. And I have been hospitalized over 20 times. I've been on various medications, diagnosed with various mental illnesses. I don't believe I have any of them. I do take my medicine as a placebo effect to go into a slumber so that when I'm fully awakened, it's not as much to handle for right now until it's time to be fully awakened. Right now it's just too much to handle because I am so gifted and so in tune with myself and channel like everywhere, like a lot of us do, that it's just not time to be able to do that yet for me. So the medicine is a benefit in that way. And years of hospitalizations, years of psychiatrists, years of therapists, nobody realized that this was what medicine is actually intended for, or should be intended for. And I wanted to, I realized that before this life, and again when I was a kid, that I wanted them to wake up to reality, to realize this, and to use medicine as a benefit for this. And I know that now, and others know that now, as they're hearing this message, hopefully. And yeah, so if I could at least touch one life, and I did, who could realize this from my experiences, if not any other experiences, it would do the medical field such a huge benefit. And I did touch one life, and that was so meaningful to me. I realized that earlier today as I was having a conversation on the phone about all this with a friend of mine. And psychiatrists play their role, and they've spurred the spiritual growth in me. The hospitals have, the workers there have, therapists have. There's a select few psychiatrists that I like. There's a therapist, two therapists that I like. Well, a therapist and a life coach that I like. But the rest have really spurred the spiritual growth in me to assist me without realizing it. To realize that this is what's actually the medicine I utilize the medicine for. And what I mean is there's no mental illnesses. There's, for example, depression. We all go through times when we're sad. Some of us hold on to it longer than others. But what we need to do is get to the deep rooted issue of why are we depressed? Why are we sad? To experience it, to feel that, to heal from that, instead of popping a pill for that reason. Because the pill's not going to resolve those issues until you really look at that, if you choose to. There's free will. We can choose to look at these deep-rooted issues, or we can choose not to. Those who choose to are going to awaken more and ascend more and have more light. Basically have more light as the key part. And another one is bipolar. For a while now, I was hearing the message over and over like a recorded message, balance. And I didn't realize that whatsoever. I knew that, but putting it into practice was a whole nother thing. So I have a lot of balance in my life now, and I'm achieving more as time goes on. We're all enhancing. We're not broken. We're enhancing. So there's no such thing as a mistake. It happens for a reason. It happens for spiritual growth. And you can listen to how it sounds. Like, say somebody has a very poor choice, in my opinion, about something that they're going to do or did. And then they say that there's something wrong with their brain. There's something that's chemically off. Therefore, they did this. That just doesn't sound right. They chose to do that, and they're blaming it on their brain. They're blaming it on the chemical. It's actually, as mentioned, the placebo effect. And it subdues them. Therefore, they are not awakened to make that decision, to go make that very poor decision to play out. But a lot of people choose these challenges, choose these lessons for spiritual growth, as mentioned. We write our lives in the Akashic Library before we're born. We make soul contracts before we're born to learn lessons from others, and vice versa. And we also have soul family that came into this life at the same time. And we stick together and learn from each other, enhance each other, and just stick by each other. It may not logically make sense on why, but we're just drawn to each other naturally, whether we can grasp it or not. Always trust your intuition. Not everything can be logically explained. And one event really opened up my eyes. I had done kind of minor thing. I was driving without my car insurance one time, and they weren't really looking at the fact that I was not all there, and they were just looking at it as like who I am and the decision that I made without realizing it, my results, not that I happen to be off my medication or that it was the complication. And that really opened up my eyes also, because it can't be blamed on that. It's all choices. We co-create our lives. We can't play victim. We need to stand in our power and own up to what choices we make, what decisions we make, and what experiences we choose to play out. So each person has a role. No one's right, no one's wrong. We're all growing together as a collective. Those who have free will, those who choose to, and assist each other instead of harming each other. Now, there's a lot out there who want to take out revenge, but that also plays a role in spiritual growth, maybe not for their benefit, but for ours. So let's not play victim. Let's play, we are sovereign beings, souls in human bodies that came here to live this experiences. When they say life's a stage, yes, it is. We're never alone. And New Earth is forming, and it's going to be very blissful with no mental illness. Those who choose mental illness may have free will, they choose to. They just won't be on New Earth. Those who choose to heal and grow from this, from these messages that are being taught, not just from me, but from a lot of us. And yes, everyone can hear when we're growing from our experiences. So it's so important to share from our experiences. We don't need to be embarrassed. We don't need to be ashamed. There's always things being learned from it. So it's never a regret. There's never a mistake. And I didn't know these things. But as a kid, I knew that I was going to have a very difficult life. That I felt like I would be a human experiment in a way. And that later on in life, when I had my own place, when I lived alone with Rockstar and Baby Girl, I would be able to have some peace of mind, to have some peace, so that I can gain peace of mind, so I can gain back become more in tune with myself as a sovereign being. Be free to be me, learn from everything. Call it a middle-age crisis, and just heal from here and move on from here. And that's exactly what's happening. Now, whether I realize this all while it's going through it, no. But do I realize this now, and have I realized this glimpses, and then before when I had made the decisions? Yes. Did I remember those decisions? No, not necessarily. It was all in my subconscious. But it's becoming more conscious as I'm going through all this. So New Earth will not have any of this. And as time goes on, I'm looking into other ways to heal. I searched outside for so long. That's another thing I wanted to bring up. Obviously, I searched outside, very outside for so long, but it's all within. And I thought I had to search outside. I thought that's where the answers were at, because I didn't have the answers. And a lot of us didn't have the answers. But now I know, because I went deep inside with the assistance from my guides, the creator, the universe, and some other ones that are just as important. So I learned this from going within and them. And would I have gone through all that if I already know now? Yeah, I would. And sometimes it's not the time to learn something. Sometimes it's the right time to learn something when it's the right time to learn something. Divine timing. It's now is the time to learn what I'm learning. I wasn't meant to learn it back then. Many planted seeds along the way, many planted messages along the way and sounded like broken records. It was going in, but it wasn't going through because I was not ready to hear those messages, yes. I am grateful to them for sending me those messages and saying those messages to me. In hindsight, now I look back and I thank them for what they have taught me. It just wasn't time to hear that yet, and now it is. So now I know these things that have been taught along the way, and I learned a lot of knowledge along the way. And I'm grateful to each one who taught me all this knowledge. So, New Earth will be very blissful. And there won't be no crime. And because we're going to learn, if we choose to from this, as I am, or they're going to go and not be on New Earth. They're going to go elsewhere and not be on New Earth because they choose not to. And that's their choice. I honor and respect that. I just do not choose that route. So, yeah. That's my message for today. And I hope you will click the like button, click subscribe, please comment. I'll leave a link for my Facebook profile in the description box. 2 links for my book, The Journey to Enlightenment, Transcending Dark Nights of the Soul, in the description box. 1 for Kindle, 1 for paperback. It can be found under my name, Jennifer Diebold, on Amazon. And I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, no matter where you're at. Peace. One love.